Have you ever wondered why high notes feel so out of reach? They're right there, and other people are singing them. Your favorite singers certainly are, and they make it look and sound so easy, am I right? But when you try, it's a squeak, a yell, a crack, or your throat just says, nope, not today. You're not broken. And you're also not one magical YouTube hack away from sounding like your favorite singer. And that may actually be good news. Let's get this out of the way. You are you. Your high notes are relative. Your high note's going to be different than your best friend's, that person sitting next to you in choir, a professional opera singer, a rock vocalist, tenor, a soprano, a baritone, a mezzo. I could go on and on. Higher voices, like tenors and sopranos, are naturally built to live higher. Their high is very high. Medium and lower voices, like baritones and mezzo-sopranos, have a different ceiling, so you may as well. Doesn't mean that those high notes are any less impressive. They're just different. Now, even within the same voice type, sopranos, for example, there can be really different qualities of the high notes. Let's take, for example, the lyric coloratura soprano. In classical music, they've got a lot more flexibility in their voice since it tends to be lighter, and they can fly all over the place above the staff all the time. That's what they're known for. Check out the operas of Mozart and you'll see what I mean. But then we've got the dramatic soprano, those ladies who can sing things like Wagner. They've got really intense, big high notes because of the volume in their voices, and also the tone quality is a bit different too. There's a darker quality to it as well. So next time you go down the YouTube rabbit hole, which you are right now as you're here, you're thinking that somebody has this magic wand and all of this insight as to how your high notes can sound like your favorite singers. They are wrong. You don't need to sound like any other singer other than yourself. It's a lot easier. You want your high notes to be solid, reliable, and not terrifying. And really, that's it. That's the goal. What is the real goal of high notes? The goal is not louder, higher, more dramatic, or glass shattering. The goal is relaxed, consistent, and efficient. If your high notes feel like you're climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops, something is off in the foundation. And this is where people tend to get annoyed and quite frustrated because it's really not glamorous. It all starts with those basics. And I know, we are all so eager to get to the really fun, exciting stuff, but basics first. Otherwise, you're never going to get to those high notes. So it starts with consistent balance. Look at what your body's doing. Are your knees locked? How about your shoulders? Are they up here? And your chin. We got to check that too. You're reaching up for the ceiling. High notes do not respond well to tension. So you got to check and see what your body is doing first. I recommend a lot of recording yourself so you can see what's actually going on. And sometimes it's pretty eye-opening to see how tight our bodies truly are. Now, when we are balanced, that's going to allow for better breath flow, which we'll get to next. If we're not balanced, all that tension, well, here's what's going to happen next. Your throat is going to try to fix that and get the sound out for you. And that's a job you do not want it to have. Breath. More air is not the answer. Efficient air is the answer. High notes actually need steady airflow, not explosive airflow. And you just don't want to blow it all out and just pray that it sounds good, because it doesn't work that way. When singers push out the air on high notes, the vocal folds will push back. And that is when you feel strain, you feel yelling, tightness, and one of the things you guys hate the most, which is cracking. Coordination will beat force each and every time, especially when you're looking for vocal longevity. Now, if you think that because you're getting your alignment and breath together, that it's gonna help you sound like Freddie Mercury in a week, no, not gonna happen. This is coordination work. High notes are athletic, and they are a process. And, athletics, they require repetition and patience. It's all part of, like I said, a process. Nobody goes to the gym once a week and expects abs to appear out of nowhere, because it doesn't work that way. Singing is no different. These may be smaller muscles, but they're muscles nevertheless, and they require lots of showing up and doing some hard work. Your high notes involve these little muscles, so we treat them like we do the bigger muscles. We show up, get the work done, repeat, and then we build strength. So let's address cracking and why everybody panics about that. Cracking usually happens when you carry too much vocal weight up, like you're trying to take the chest voice higher, and you're anticipating the note and tightening. I see that happen most frequently. You're undersupported, meaning you don't have enough strength, or you're overblowing the air. You've got way too much. Those are all just a few examples of why you may be cracking. It's a coordination mismatch, not a talent deficiency. And sometimes it's just your voice adjusting. because these are all things that are in motion. And it's especially something that teenagers who have got these growing voices might notice, or adults that are returning to singing after not singing for quite some time. Your voice will change over time, and that's just the way it is, and it's totally normal and cool. Also, at some point, your voice just needs to rebalance. That doesn't mean that you're gonna sound weaker, or it's all falsetto and some people think that's cheating, or that you lost your power. It means you are allowing for the mechanism to shift efficiently. And this can take some time to build that strength because, like I said, muscles. The shift, when trained, becomes mix. Mix is not magic. It's coordinated balance between thickness to stretch. And it feels, well, a lot easier than yelling, and let's face it, it sounds a lot better too. If your high notes feel like yelling, you're probably just overpowering. In fact, I know you are. Also, stop comparing your high notes, please. Some realness here. Back in the day, we were not all trying to sound like one another. Ann Wilson, did she sound like Debbie Harry? Prince didn't sound like Elvis. Freddie didn't sound like Bowie. They all had some pretty good high notes, right? But they had their high notes. Your job is not to copy. Your job is to develop so you can sound like you. All right, so here's what you need to focus on to get those high notes where you want them. You want high notes that are solid, reliable, not scary. It should be fun. You want to focus on this: alignment, efficient breath, gradual range building, consistent practice, and patience. Not scream tutorials, although yes, there are some healthy ways to scream, but you gotta be following the right people. Unlock your whistle tone in 3 minutes, or comparing yourself to a 22-year-old soprano when you're a 38-year-old mezzo. You get the idea. Train your instrument, respect your instrument, and your high notes will grow.